A yard can have healthy plants, fresh mulch, and a perfectly usable lawn and still make the house look pieced together. One planting stops abruptly at the front wall. A small feature sits out by itself. The garage side seems to carry the whole property, while the other side barely registers. That pulled-together look is often simpler than adding more. The house and the landscaping need to look like they belong to the same plan. Here's a quick test. Pick one movable item that seems to float by itself, maybe a planter box or a small piece of garden furniture. Shift it toward a real line on the house, such as the edge of the porch or a change in the wall. If the whole area suddenly makes more sense, the problem was not the item, it was the relationship. There are 7 small changes like that, and the last decision is not do all 7. It is how to choose the one that will improve the biggest part of your house and yard picture. Start with anything in the landscape that seems to have no clear reason to be where it is. A common yard grows one project at a time. Something gets planted near the driveway. Later, a container is added near the porch. A decorative feature ends up in an open patch of lawn. Each decision may be harmless, but some of those pieces never connect to the building. Use the house as the reference. Corners, porch edges, window groups, columns, and changes in the wall already create strong lines. An object placed near one of those lines usually looks more deliberate than the same object sitting in an unrelated patch of open space. You do not need to line everything up like graph paper. The useful question is whether the placement has an obvious relationship to something permanent. If a small grouping already seems to belong beside a porch or at the end of a wall, leave it alone. A good relationship does not get better because you force it into a formula. Established shrubs and trees deserve more caution than movable objects. You can test a new location with a chair, stake, empty pot, or even a cardboard box before you disturb a plant. If you eventually decide a woody plant should move, choose a suitable planting window for your climate and the plant instead of treating a late summer design idea as an emergency transplant. Once individual pieces have a reason to be there, look for a different problem. Too many little projects competing across the same property. You may have a small seating spot near the side door, a separate cluster of containers near the driveway, a decorative feature near the lawn, and another little arrangement beside the porch. The yard can start to feel like several weekends of good intentions that never became one place. Try consolidating before you add anything. Move the useful pieces toward the area that already has a clear purpose. Let the seating stay with the patio. Let the containers support the porch. If a decorative object has no job after that, store it for a week and see whether you miss it. This is different from stripping the yard bare. Separate areas are fine when they serve genuinely different parts of the property. A side door landing and a front porch do not need to become one composition. The goal is to stop creating tiny islands that ask for attention without helping the house. Now, suppose the yard is already fairly simple, but one side of the house still seems to dominate. That is a balance problem. On many suburban homes, the heavy side is easy to spot. It may be a wide garage, a tall chimney, a large gable, or a long stretch of driveway and wall. The opposite side may have a porch or windows, but it feels visually lighter. Do not answer that by putting an equally large object on the other side. Balance can be asymmetrical. A strong vertical feature on one side can be answered by a lower, broader landscape mass on the other. A wide, hard surface can sometimes be calmed by giving the lighter side a little more presence and removing one strong accent from the heavy side. Before you add anything, run a no-dig test. Temporarily move one high-contrast object off the heavy side. A bright container, a sign, a piece of furniture, anything easy to shift. If the house immediately feels less lopsided, subtraction may solve the problem. If almost nothing changes, the lighter side probably needs more presence instead. That distinction can save you from building up one side when the easier correction was to quiet the other. For a house with a broad garage, regrouping movable containers near the porch may be enough to give the lighter side more presence. If an existing shrub group is already doing that job, the better move may be to quiet the garage side instead. Let the architecture decide whether the balance should be symmetrical. A centered facade can handle more symmetry. An offset porch, side garage, or strong chimney often needs an asymmetrical response. Do not answer a tall chimney with another tall object just to match it. A lower, broader existing mass on the opposite side may be enough. Answer the visual weight of the architecture, not its exact silhouette. Then stop. If your eye can move across the house without getting stuck on one side, the job is done. Trying to make both halves carry exactly the same amount of stuff usually makes an ordinary yard feel formal and busy. A related problem shows up when the landscaping has the wrong amount of presence for the architecture it is supposed to support. Plant size at the garden center is the wrong way to judge this. Look at the span of house you are asking the landscape to relate to. A small patch of planting tucked under one window can look stranded against a long wall, even when every plant in that patch is healthy and mature. The mismatch is the amount of architecture being addressed. Here is the useful diagnostic. Separate height from reach. If the plants already rise high enough to relate to the windows, but occupy only a tiny portion of a long wall, more height will not solve the disconnect. The missing quality is width or continuity. If the planting already stretches across the useful part of the wall and still feels weak, then height or stronger mass may be the issue. Those are different fixes. Instead of solving that with one taller specimen, see whether an existing group can be widened, shifted, or allowed to connect to a second architectural feature. A group that relates to both the end of a porch and the next window can support more of the facade without becoming a wall of plants. The opposite mistake happens on a compact house. A small front wall with a door and 2 windows does not need a broad mass that stretches across every opening. In that setting, keeping the planting contained can make the house easier to see and easier to maintain. There is also a middle case that causes a lot of unnecessary planting. A long wall broken by a porch, bump out, or change in siding. You may not need one continuous mass across the whole span. Let the architecture divide the job. One group can support the porch, while another answers the far wall. The connection comes from each group having a clear architectural job, not from filling every foot between them. Mature size matters here more than nursery size. A young shrub may look undersized today and be exactly right as it matures. If the location and eventual spread make sense, waiting can be the correct design move. Filling every temporary gap now can create a pruning problem later. Before adding or relocating a living plant, check what it becomes at maturity and whether the site suits it. A proportion fix is not a fix if the plant eventually covers a window, crowds a walkway, or has to be cut back several times a year just to stay in bounds. The next disconnect often appears where the front of the house turns into the side. Some foundation planting looks complete from straight on, then stops exactly at the outside corner. From the driveway or front walk, you can see the planting end and the bare side wall begin. The house turns, but the landscape does not. You do not need to wrap a new bed around the building. Often, a modest carry around the corner is enough. If an existing group near the corner can be allowed to widen naturally, that may solve it. If the space is open and appropriate, one small addition at the next suitable planting time can connect the front area to the side without turning the side yard into another project. Judge the corner by what already makes the turn. A plain outside corner with open lawn on both sides may benefit from a modest landscape carry. A porch return, side steps, gate, tree canopy, or wide established shrub may already do that job. If the transition reads naturally, leave it alone. Visibility decides how much effort this deserves. On a narrow lot where the side wall is mostly hidden, the corner may need nothing. On a corner lot or a house set at an angle to the street, The side elevation becomes part of the main view, so that handoff matters more. There is one more stop rule here. Do not force a landscape connection through a working zone. If the side of that corner is where you roll a trash bin, wheelbarrow, mower, or garden cart, preserve the clear route. A good visual handoff that creates a daily obstacle is a bad trade. Keep the practical side practical. Do not crowd doors, gates, meters, air conditioning equipment, hose connections, or a path you use for maintenance. If the correction requires digging, contact 811 before you dig in the U.S. and follow your state center's instructions before work begins. Elsewhere, use your local utility locate service. By this point, the house may be connected and reasonably balanced, but the property can still feel restless because too many things are asking for attention at once. Choose what should read first. Maybe the best feature is a broad front porch. Maybe it is a strong chimney, a handsome group of windows, or one mature tree that already gives the property character. Whatever it is, let the nearby landscape support that feature instead of trying to compete with it. Say the porch is the strongest part of the house, but a bright mailbox planting on the opposite side keeps pulling attention away. You do not need another centerpiece near the porch. Quieting the secondary area may be enough. On a different property, the house itself is very plain, and one mature tree gives the yard its identity. In that case, the landscape can support the tree while the rest of the front stays simpler. The test is not whether the yard has enough interesting things. It is whether your eye knows where to settle first. If everything is equally loud, lower the contrast of one secondary area before you add a new feature. A useful way to decide what is secondary is to ask what would still matter if the flowers were gone for the season. The porch, the house shape, a mature tree, and the main planting masses are durable. A small patch of color or a seasonal decoration is temporary. Let the durable parts set the order, then use the temporary pieces as support instead of making them carry the whole front yard. There is one more kind of small change, and it works only when the basic relationship is already good. Remove the thing that interrupts it. Sometimes a porch and an existing shrub group already relate well, but a freestanding shepherd's hook sits between them and breaks the line. A clean window group may already have enough planting below it, but a stack of spare pots has slowly turned that part of the yard into storage. A side path may connect neatly to the house until a portable hose cart or unused ornament becomes the first thing you notice. Move the interruption somewhere else for a few days. Do not replace it. Just look at the area without it. If the house and landscape suddenly make more sense together, you found an editing problem. If the area now feels empty or the useful function is gone, put the item back. That is the stop rule. Subtraction only helps when it reveals a relationship that was already there. Living plants are a different decision. Do not dig up an established shrub in hot, dry weather just because it looks awkward from one angle. Plan the better location first, make sure that site fits the plant, and move it when conditions are appropriate. Now choose one project. Do not start with the easiest little annoyance. Start with the disconnect tied to the biggest architectural feature that feels unsupported. If the garage side controls most of the front of the house, a tiny problem near the mailbox can wait. If the front planting works, but the outside corner makes the front and side feel unrelated, fix the corner first. Make that one correction, then look again before you add a second project. Once the house and yard feel like they belong together, more landscaping is not automatically an improvement. Which part of your house feels least connected to the yard right now? A garage side? A long wall? An outside corner? Or something else? That is the place I would examine first.